Has anyone ever seen that show, For All Mankind? And yes, my hair is jacked up, but who cares? I'm single. Remember, during the show, the focus was on engineers and scientists, and they were building rockets. They were rocket scientists. They worked for NASA. It was a great show, and it was to lead up into The Expanse. The Expanse was a marvelous show. Loved The Expanse. Left us on the cliffhanger, but loved it. Hope it comes back. But during that show, there was Margot. Loved Margot. Margot fell in love with a Russian scientist, and during this time, the Russians and the Americans were having this, this Cold War or whatever, but, it was a thing, secrets, and the same thing they have now, but a lot more secretive, spies and all that. Well, Margot's Russian interest was, deaded by the Russians. And when Margot found that out, she decided, she decided she didn't want to work for America anymore. I forgot how this went. I forgot who DX'd him. I think it was the Russians, but nonetheless, she felt betrayed, and she ended up switching sides. She felt betrayed by America, actually, and she ended up switching sides and started working for the Russians. Somehow that went. It's a little foggy. But the point is, well, when it all came down to the wire, when America really needed something, it was a rock, it was a meteor that was, they needed to capture it while it was near Mars. And if they would have captured that meteor while it was near Earth, if they would have got a hold of it, it had so many minerals on it that it would have made America and the whole world, it would have made a whole world of difference, especially America. Well, Margot sabotaged it. She sabotaged it. Just with a few numbers. She punched in a few numbers and boom, sabotaged the whole thing. And admitted to it. Just because she was heartbroken. I want to say this. There's just some people you don't screw over. You don't do it. You don't screw over anybody, really, but especially people who have access to our nuclear weapons. You don't just up and fire 400 of them, not one, but 400 of them, and think that all is going to be well just because, it was our mistake. Come back. There's a freeze. There's a freeze on that firing. It's froze right now. We don't know if it's really going to happen, but for right now, come back. No. See, you don't mess over those people. You don't do it because they have way too much information. And everybody on the planet wants that information. Even if it's minuscule, even if it's the secretary. If you looked up For All Mankind, the secretary was dope. The secretary knew the wives. The wives of NASA were in deep. They knew stuff the average person didn't know. The wives didn't even work there. But they were, pretty much on the, inside, pretty much. You fired 400 of them because you didn't realize what they did at our nuclear plants and nuclear weapons. So not nuclear plants, but for our nuclear weapons. The most vital thing that America has to keep everyone in line. You didn't realize this. Those people are going to sell their information to the highest bidder, and there's nothing America can do. You have just screwed America. And you're going to have to pay those people an awful lot more money. And if you decide to do something to those people, and one of them finds out what you did to them, If you want some of your secret agents, these people just happen to, car crash or any of that stupid stuff like they did to that Boeing guy. See what happens. See what happens to your secrets. See what happens, goofies.